Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the online open house for the proposed zoning bylaw amendment at 89 Page Street and 124 Niagara Street. My name is Natasha MacDonald, Planner 1 with the City of St. Catharines. During tonight's meeting, I will be presenting details of the application and the planning and approvals process. This open house is currently being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, where it will remain available for future viewing. Should you have any questions or comments following this open house, you can submit them to myself. My contact information is posted at the bottom of this slide and will be posted again at the end of this presentation. As stated, tonight's meeting is to discuss the proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 89 Page Street and 124 Niagara Street. The city received this application earlier this year, and it was deemed complete on April 27th, 2022. Under the Planning Act, the city must accept and process complete planning applications. As part of this process, the application is circulated to various city staff and external agencies for their review. The Planning Act also requires that 2 public meetings be held for this type of application, tonight being the first. This meeting is to present the proposal and collect feedback. During the second public meeting, which will be held this summer, City Council will consider the applications and make their decision. Here we have the location of 89 Page Street and 124 Niagara Street, which are located between Welland Avenue and the QEW and just east of Geneva Street. The applicant proposes to rezone a 172 square meter portion of the rear yard at 89 Page Street from medium density residential, being R3, to medium density mixed use, M1. The subject area is intended to be removed from 89 Page Street and merged with 124 Niagara Street through a future boundary adjustment application. And so the zoning of the subject area is being changed to match the M1 zoning of 124 Niagara Street. The applicant proposes to construct an accessory structure, being a garage, within the subject area to serve 124 Niagara Street. Section 2.1 of the zoning bylaw states that buildings and structures accessory to a permitted use is permitted in all zones. However, the proposed accessory structure for the mixed-use building on M1 zoned 124 Niagara Street needs to be located on land zoned permitting a mixed-use building. The current R3 zone for the subject area does not permit a mix of uses. Therefore, to facilitate the proposal, a zoning bylaw amendment is required to rezone the subject area from R3 to M1. The lands at 89 Page Street are designated medium density residential, and the lands at 124 Niagara Street are designated mixed use on Schedule E5 of the Garden City Plan. These designations permit a range of uses, including medium density residential development and mixed use buildings. The proposal does not create a conflict with the Garden City Plan, and as such, an official plan amendment is not required for this proposal. In terms of zoning, the property 89 Page Street is zoned R3, and 124 Niagara Street is zoned M1 under the city's zoning bylaw. The R3 zone permits a range of residential uses such as detached, semi-detached, duplex, triplex, and townhouse dwellings, and the M1 zone permits a range of uses including residential, commercial, office, and institutional uses, as well as mixed-use buildings. The proposal will rezone the rear portion of 89 Page Street from medium density residential, R3, to medium density mixed use, M1. In addition to the proposed rezoning from R3 to M1, the applicant is requesting site-specific zoning provisions for 89 Page Street, as the future boundary adjustment will result in 2 zoning deficiencies. The requested provisions include an increase in the maximum lot area from 370 square meters to 492 square meters for a detached dwelling in an R3 zone, as well as an increase in the maximum driveway coverage from 20% to 24%. Shown here is the proposed site plan for the proposal. So highlighted in blue is the area to be rezoned, being Part 3. The proposed garage is located within the area. The proposed garage will be located within this area and will be merged with 124 Niagara Street. Part 2 is 89 Page Street, where no changes are proposed. And Part 4 is the remainder of 124 Niagara Street, where no changes are proposed. As part of the future boundary adjustment application, the city and region will be requesting a road widening along both Niagara Street and Page Street, and these dedications are shown as parts 1 and 5 on the concept. Shown here is the proposed elevations for the accessory structure to be constructed in the rear yard of 124 Niagara Street. Now, prior to tonight's online open house, staff have not received any comments from members of the public regarding this proposal. Following tonight's meeting, if you want to review the material submitted with the application, you can do so by visiting www.stcatharines.ca/development and find the folder labeled 89 Page Street and 124 Niagara Street. At this time, staff are looking for comments from the public regarding this proposal. All feedback collected is being compiled and will be shared with staff and City Council. And staff are currently preparing a recommendation report for this application, which will be made public prior to it being considered by Council. As mentioned, this will be considered by Council during a second public meeting, which will be held later this summer. Notice will be mailed out to the surrounding properties and signs will be posted on site. Thank you to anyone who is tuning into tonight's online open house for the proposed zoning bylaw amendment at 89 Page Street and 124 Niagara Street in the city of St. Catharines. Please submit any questions or comments to myself via email at nmacdonald@stcatharines.ca or via phone at 905-688-5601, extension 1728. You can also submit your comments in writing to City Hall. Now, tonight we have the agent, Susan Smythe from Cortec, and the owner, Ed Vanderkoy, in attendance. I will now open the floor to you if you wish to add anything tonight.
Yes, good evening. Natasha, I don't have anything more to add. You've done a very good summary, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Ed Vanderkoy here. Thank you, Sandra, for attending and helping me and guiding me through this process so far today. And thank you, Natasha. I think it is the application as you presented is complete. Nothing further to add. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And thanks again to anyone tuning into tonight's online open house. I hope you all have a nice evening.